Today we're here to talk about Robusta coffee and how it actually got started into our coffee scene here in America. There are actually two types of coffee that are grown commercially. The main types are Arabica and Robusta. And Robusta grows basically in the same areas that the Arabica beans grow, in the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Very high volumes coming out of Vietnam right now, but it's also grown in Africa. How it actually got started commercially in a big way was after World War II. After World War II, Europe was devastated and money was scarce and coffee is expensive. So the coffee manufacturers tried to figure out a way to make it cheaper. So what they did is they started researching things they could mix with the coffee to stretch it out that were less expensive than coffee, which is how chicory and Robusta coffee came on the scenes. The Germans were experimenting mixing in chicory, and the French went to their former provinces in Africa, West Africa, and really got the Robusta coffee movement growing after World War II. So we fast forward to 1954, and the way that it really got started building in the US was the big freeze of 1954 in Brazil. The coffee prices skyrocketed for Arabica beans because of the freeze. So a company called Maxwell Health started experimenting in mixing Robusta beans in with the coffee. And that's how it actually got started moving through the system. Other coffee companies followed suit and had this whole process then brought down the cost of the coffee, and that's where coffee creamer and sugar started working into the system to kill that nasty taste. So I actually had some personal experience with Robusta when I started roasting coffee in Thailand. The first beans that I bought, I was so excited. I was going to get these high quality Arabica beans out of northern Thailand, and I opened the first bags and saw something that was sizably smaller of a bean and really yellow. So I thought, well, maybe there's something I don't know. So I went out in the yard where I had my roaster set up and started roasting the beans, and it smelled something like burning tires. Actually made the neighbors come out and wonder what was going wrong. And after that burning tire smell, I got the distinct smell of what instant coffee tastes like. So most of Robusta coffee is in the soluble coffee market, and the big push in coffee in Asia has really boosted the production of Robusta coffee, because soluble coffee in Asia is everywhere, which is why I got started roasting coffee in Thailand, because I couldn't find a good cup of coffee. So as the Asian market expanded rapidly, they're up like 43% in their coffee consumption since 2008. Price of Robusta beans went up. And as the price of Robusta beans went up, the price of the low quality Arabica beans actually equaled it. So that created a new marketing opportunity, and now you see some of the soluble coffees are actually 100% Arabica beans, because they're actually the same price as the Robusta beans. And we'll see how that works out as the coffee works through Asia. They start getting more sophisticated. They're going to start drinking Arabica bean coffee pretty soon too. So that's kind of how the whole Robusta thing got started. It's actually a lower quality bean. One of the things with Robusta is it grows at low elevation, all the way down to sea level. It actually grew right across the bay in Krabi in Thailand, which is where my beans came from, I'm sure. I didn't read Thai, so I couldn't read what was on the bag when I got them. And it's very, the Robusta beans have twice the caffeine, so it is actually very resistant to disease. They've actually tried to genetically engineer Arabica beans and crossing them with Robusta beans, and they're coming up with a new variety of beans called Robusta. So we'll see how that works out. They say that they're able to handle or maintain the flavor. I'll try that one for myself. One of the funny things that happened with Robusta, with Maxwell Health trying to cut the cost, is because Robusta beans have twice the caffeine. Coffee consumption dropped from 75% of Americans drinking 3 cups a day to only 50% of Americans drinking 2 cups a day, because you can only shove so much of that drug in there before you start freaking out a little bit. So that was a little bit of unintended consequences. So that's the scoop on Robusta beans and how it kind of worked its way into the US.